In a small, peaceful village surrounded by lush green fields and towering palm trees lived a young woman named Ola. She was the pride of her family, known for her beauty and gentle spirit. Her days were spent helping her mother in the kitchen, tending to the goats and fetching water from the nearby stream. In the same village lived a young man named Obi. He was strong and handsome, with a smile that could light up the darkest night. Obi worked as a farmer, spending his days under the sun, toiling in the fields that had been in his family for generations. Despite the hard work, he was always cheerful, his laughter echoing through the village. Ola and Obi had known each other since childhood. They had grown up playing together, racing through the fields and climbing the ancient baobab tree at the edge of the village. As they grew older, their friendship blossomed into something deeper. The village knew them as inseparable, often seen walking side by side, sharing stories and drama of the future. But in the village, tradition was strong. Marriage were arranged by families, often for practical reasons rather than love. Ola's father, a respected elder in the community, had promised her hand to a wealthy trader from a neighboring village. The news broke both Ola and Obi's hearts, but they knew there was little they could do. Obi was not wealthy, and in the eyes of the village, love alone could not sustain a marriage. The night before Ola's wedding, she met Obi by the old baobab tree. The moonlight bathed the landscape in a silvery glow, and the air was thick with the scent of jasmine. With tears in her eyes, Ola looked at Obi, her heart breaking at the thought of leaving him forever. Obi, she whispered, I can't imagine a life without you, but I must do as my father wishes. Obi took her hands in his voice steady but filled with sorrow. Ola, if this is truly what you want, I will respect your decision, but know that my love for you will never fade. For a long moment they stood there in silence, the world around them still and quiet. Then, with a heavy heart, Obi kissed Ola on the forehead, a final bittersweet goodbye. The next day, the village gathered for the wedding. Ola was dressed in a beautiful gown, her face a mask of calm as she prepared to marry a man she did not love. But just as the ceremony was about to begin, a loud commotion erupted at the edge of the village. Obi appeared, out of breath from running, his clothes dusty and torn. He walked straight to Ola's father, bowing deeply before speaking. Please, elder, Obi pleaded, allow me to speak. I may not have wealth or status, but I have loved Ola my entire life. I promise to work harder than ever to provide for her and make her happy. All I ask is for your blessing. The village fell silent, every eye on Ola's father as he considered Obi's words. The elder was a man of tradition, but he was also a father who loved his daughter dearly. After a long pause, he looked at Ola, who stood trembling with hope. Do you love him, Ola? Her father asked softly. With tears streaming down her face, Ola nodded. Yes, father, I do. The elder sighed, but a small smile tugged at the corners of his mouth. Then, so be it. May your love bring prosperity to our village. The village erupted in cheers as Obi and Ola embraced their hearts finally, free to love as they had always wished. The wedding was called off, and instead the village celebrated the union of two souls who had found their way to each other despite the odds. And from that day on, Obi and Ola lived happily in their village, their love growing stronger with each passing year, a love that defied tradition and proved that sometimes following your heart is the greatest tradition of all. Wow.